Hey guys, well, as you can see, I got the Lodestar behind me. She is still looking as good as ever. About to make her trip to the to my shop at work for the winter, but this video though is about the L9000 again. I had robbed the batteries out of the Lodestar to give me 2 out of the 4 to get the L9000 fired up, but I since bought a couple other new ones, so we've got batteries back in the Lodestar. I actually started it yesterday I guess it was. It just sounds as good as ever. I love this truck, love everything about it, but it is time to put it to bed for the winter. But what I was just noticing was just how small this truck seems compared to the L9000. You know, this is an old school small medium duty. Even modern medium duties are, you know, a little bigger and heavier than this, but just everything about this truck feels little now. And, you know, obviously through the course of working on it, nothing seemed little. It was all a lot of work, but I mean, just, you know, the height of the cab, where it sits, you know, this little single baby 50-gallon fuel tank compared to twin hundreds, just everything is small on it. But anyway, on with the video. So today what I'm working on, I have 1, maybe 2 goals in mind. We'll see how fast the first one goes. It won't go fast because things never go as fast as I want them to. But first goal is I'm going to torch off as much of that wrecker body as I can. I've decided I'm scrapping it. I don't want to keep it. It's just pointless. I don't have any use for it, so I'm going to split it apart, get it to the point where I can lift it, move it around, get it onto a trailer. We're going to load some other scrap onto it that I've got sitting across the street, maybe next week or the week after, whenever I get around to that, and we're going to make some money off of it. So, because everything, don't let anyone ever tell you that restoring anything, but restoring big trucks in particular is a pricey hobby. Anybody, you know, any of these guys on YouTube that work on these old trucks and restore them and whatever else, they will all tell you that it adds up fast. So if I could put a few $100 in my pocket from scrapping this bed, then I need it. So my pocketbook needs it. So anyway, we're going to try to get that torched off. If we get time, we're going to try to turn up that pump on that L10 Cummins. And so I'll set the old camera up. It's a little bit snowy out here today in Michigan, and we're going to roll around underneath this truck once I get my bibs put on and torch until we run out of gas. All right, guys. Well, worked on this thing for about 4 hours here. Ended up working on the PTO drive for about half of that. Got the winch functioning. What it was is the eyelet on the this whole thing is you know, completely home fabricated, but they used an air cylinder, dual acting air cylinder, and fabricated their own brackets down in the frame. And so it, you know, basically the cylinder pushes in and it works in a reverse lever. So it pushes in, which pulls the rod out. It's got a fulcrum point below the rod, and so when the cylinder pushes out, it pulls the PTO rod into reverse position, and when the cylinder pulls back in, it pulls it forward. So it's just a dual acting air switch, basically fifth wheel lock and unlock switch they used. But at any rate, that eyelet was spread out, which gave the whole system play, and it had enough where it would push in to reverse the winch, but it would not let the winch most of the time engage. So I just did a quick fix, unbolted everything, did some quick tack welding on the not tack welding, but welded the eyelet shut. It just needs a new eyelet, but for now it works great. So we were able to use the winch to lift up that ridiculously heavy boom and release the chain and let it down. I've got it sitting down here on some, you can see on some wood blocks there on the fifth wheel plate, so that I could get the winch cable out. But actually it was such a tension, not really in the right direction. You can see that, but it spread the hook. Luckily that sucker didn't snap on me, but regardless, the boom's down safe. I did all kinds of torching, as you can see here. We're cut away here, we're cut away the other side. What I found though is there is this is an I-beam down here. So it's a 6-inch tall by 6-inch wide foot by 1/2-inch I-beam. That was basically their structure for this whole bed. I think this old wrecker bed actually ended up here, or here, basically, in front of these boxes. And then this is all hand fabricated when they built this house moving rig. So they built it literally around that I-beam. Problem is, they also, in order to get this winch in, it looks like they eliminated a factory cross member, and that factory cross member was the one that held the carrier bearing. So the carrier bearing is now welded to or bolted to a plate, which is welded to that I-beam. So basically that I-beam, at least part of it, can't come out. So that's why you see I've got a horizontal cut going along there. I think I'm free back here, but I also think that they used, I think the double frame on this truck was actually the inner or the original frame out of whatever this wrecker was on. I can't tell. This thing was done so strangely, but I think I got to cut out that rear cross member. I've done some tugging with old Nancy, and she ain't budging. And I'm 99% sure this whole front portion, all the U-bolts, everything's cut free. So the problem's back there. So it's getting dark. I'm tired. My bibs and my coat are soaked and dirty and from grimy from laying underneath fixing this PTO. So I'm gonna go inside for the night, call it good. Come out tomorrow morning. We'll cut that thing free and see if we can. I just want to see if the truck can budge it off. Then from there, I'll take the Ford across the street and we'll hook to a nice sturdy tree once I know this bed is moving and sliding, and then we'll get this thing off. Then from there, I'll torch the whole damn thing apart with a skid steer one day, and we can get it taken in for scrap. So to be continued till tomorrow. But regardless, we made another fix. You know, we got our throttle pedal fixed yesterday. We're still waiting on that relay valve. We'll get that stuff fixed, but you know, now we've got our PTO working properly and our winch working properly. So anyway, to be continued. See you tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, it's Sunday. I've been out here messing with this thing for a couple hours. Messing with the back plate. I think I got it. That's all free. Took a lot of messing around where they did just some stupid welding. I'm a little, you know, too little too late, freaking 20 years later, but the guys that built this thing are just stupid. They did a bunch of stupid welding that didn't add any structural rigidity to this body whatsoever. It just was stupid, and it's junk welds. And anyway, that's my complaint. So I've been tugging on it with my truck. I've got the back plate broke free. I think there's still, it's where I cannot get to with the torches or a grinder or anything. There's just some little corner, you know, little bits of steel here and there hanging on. I think it's on this front I-beam that I was talking about. So the snow is ticking me off too, because it just makes working a pain in the butt. It was supposed to be done, and now it's still going. It's not sticking anymore. It's above freezing now. It's just obnoxious Michigan lake effect snow. But anyway, I'll stop complaining, I promise. So I'm going to fire up the L9000. I just took the gator across the street, scoped out a tree that I think will work. We're going to tie this 1/2-inch chain to the tree and to the bed, and we're going to try to see if we can just yank this thing. I don't like yanking hard on my pickup. It's going to mess up my $600 hitch, and I don't, it's not what it's for. So, but I don't care about the truck. The L9000, it's a lot beefier, and you know, worst case if a tree falls on it, I think we'll be okay with that bed. So we're gonna see if we can't break this sucker loose. But first, I want to show you how great this thing starts. So it's like 33 degrees, 34 degrees right now, and so it should be out of air, of course. Got a couple of additional leaks I found, but set you up like that so I can get to work the throttle. Just like that. Friggin' loyal. Alright, we'll let her build some air. see this. We'll see. Try to squeeze in here. Now that I've got the bed off, we're going to try to see what we can do on this pump. If you can see right here, this is the throttle shaft. I've already pulled the linkage here off and gotten it up out of the way. So I've got a couple rivets here on this little tin cover. Yeah, I should have known that was going to happen. A couple of them are already off. We're going to be right back with a different tool. Alright, so let's see if this will work any better. Okay, there's only that rivet holding it on. Well, luckily we're done with that. Over here and retrieve the cover. Oh, come on. Alright. So, with that done, we've got two items we're going to do. Well, first one is here. That's the AFC screw. So we're going to back that nut off. So we can turn the screw out. So we'll get in here. Okay, and that's an Allen. So let's see what size. Guys, I have to admit here that my Allen and Torx bit, what do you know, selection is really horrendous. One of those things that I always tell myself I need to invest in new ones, and then I forget about it, and then when I need them, I don't have them. Alright, so everything I've read recommends 3 full turns on this. So let's see how easy this turns. Quarter. Half. I'm trying not to lose count. Okay, so there's 3 turns, 12 quarters. Now I need a way to hold that while I tighten down the set so I don't inadvertently turn it right back in where it was. I guess my fat fingers fit in there. Let's see how much that turns. Yeah, we're right there. Sweet. Snug that down. Alright, so there's the AFC. Next, we've got the fuel screw, and there's a little lead ball in there. We'll need a screwdriver once we've got that ball drilled out. This drill bit maybe a little too small, but I'm coming at an angle, so. Try something. I highly doubt it does a damn thing, but well, it actually moved a little bit, believe it or not. Alright, well, it looks like I can see a slot, so at some point almost up to that ball must have just come out. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, so we're going to start with a couple of turns. So there's, yeah, there it goes. There's a half and one and 1.5 and 2. No. Alright, well, let's first I need to figure out, let's get this linkage back down here. Figure out, so that comes back to there. So as the throttle, as the pedal. Hold on, I'm gonna do some figuring. All right, so that's idle. That's where the spring pressure wants to take it. Which would be pulled back. So that should be idle right there. We'll find out real quick if it's not, won't we? Let's see. We're using tools. Good on that. Do a couple more turns on that throttle. Alright guys, I'm going to try to give you a little ride along in the bird. She's a little loud with that open floorboard, so hope you're ready. Played with this pump. Still don't think I have the throttle quite right.
shit, so hopefully nobody's coming.
guys, well, I shut her down. I will say, I would call it a mild power increase. No, it's not like it's 100 horse or something, but we got a little bit out of her. I can change that that throttle screw can be adjusted now. Now that I've got that lead ball out of there, I don't have to pull the linkage back out. So we might play with that some more, but it definitely rolls a little puff of black when you give it on the throttle, and that's at no load, you know, it just sitting. So we'll see what it pulls like once we get a trailer behind it someday before we play much more with it, I think. But anyway, or maybe I'll change my mind and start turning that screw out even more. I might do a little more research first. This gives you a good look at the frame. This is what I was talking about. See down here, they had the back of the hitch plate welded right there. It was kind of an arc shape, so you can see, and they just jammed a bunch of nasty looking bead up in there. Just screwed it up, to be honest with you. And they had these stupid tabs that bent over when I pulled it off. This one, what little bit of weld that they ever had that actually took, ripped off with when I pulled the body off. But you know, the frame on this truck is okay. It's a double frame, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't. And it's starting to rust jack. It's not bad. It's not cracked anything, but it's definitely starting. So there's a few factors here. I would love to put air ride on this truck. And talking to somebody right now and seeing if maybe we can come up with something. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to have any options for me or not. But if I go air ride and all these bolts come out, that means my cross members are going to come out. That rear cross member needs to go. It's junk anyway. And that double frame ends right here. So my thought is that we just take it to a single frame. You know, if we're going to have all those out anyway, you know, we clean this up nice and neat and get that double frame out of there. I don't need it for what I'm going to be doing with it. So anyway, that's in the future. We'll see how everything goes and how that pans out, but I'd love to see that be the case. Otherwise, you can see here what I'm talking about. That's got junk on it now for me going for a drive, but this is what's left of that I-beam. You can see I made this, how sharp that is. You can see where I made my torch cut there, and did a linear cut, and then I also had to cut out the box here. Same thing on the other side, but you can see where, pretty sure there used to be a cross member right there. There would have been 1, 2, 3. You also see where, before I realized what was going on here, I tried to make a nasty looking cut there. So assuming that's going to stay, we'll have to fill weld that and clean it up. But you know, you've got this, looks like, again, some, I don't know, that's flat. So it looks like, yeah, some C channel and a flat on the bottom, some flat stock wedged in there, and a big C channel there. But that's their carrier bearing mount and the mount for the end of the PTO drive shaft. And they got this brace, threaded rod coming back as a brace back to here. So, but I guess the good news is I was able to keep that intact. So now we can, you know, we can do a nice clean cut there, do a clean cut on that piece of C channel, do the same thing on the other side, box this all out nice and neat, and then I'm hoping I can cut off this whole front deal, unless I decide I want to use that as a stack mount or something. So, but we'll see. You see, this is the carnage, the only carnage, but I bent these 2 rods. The bed caught on it. I thought I had cut out, actually took out a section right here, knowing that could happen, but based on the direction it pulled off, the front of the bed caught those. So I don't know. They're unused at this point. One was for the brake. I don't know what the other one did. Once I have some welding or cutting gas, I might try to heat those up cherry and bend them back relatively straight. We'll see. Yeah, that's where we're at. A lot easier now to do my air brake work I need to do, put a new can on there and put that relay valve on. We got easy access to everything. But yeah, it was another good weekend of progress. So I've owned this truck for exactly 8 days at this point, and we've made it this far, so I can't complain a whole lot. I think we're doing pretty good. So next weekend we'll get this old hunk of junk cut up. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is obviously remove the boom. We'll have to torch those giant 1.5-inch bolts, and then we'll get that off, assuming I can lift that in one piece, which I should be able to. Then I think I'm going to make just a torch cut right across here. We take the front half of this with the superstructure, and then the back half with the fifth wheel, which is adding quite a bit of weight back there, and then that 1/2-inch rear plate too. So that'll be the shorter half, but probably maybe the heavier half, in fact. And yeah, get this thing into 3 pieces. Worst comes to worst, if I have to cut off that tower superstructure, I will, but that's not really all that much weight. So get this thing torched apart and maybe dig out some scrap from out back and have it ready to load up. And next step on this will probably be, we got to get the light bar off. Stack, it's got to get removed at some point before we put it in the barn. Anyway, I'd like to get it to a point where it's ready to go in the barn. So anything I want to work on once the International's gone, I can. So and probably after that, we'll probably jump into maybe some floor and rocker work. That's kind of one of the more important things just to get done and patch back up. We get a floor put in this thing, and get those seats out and get everything nice and neat. So, but obviously that's a barn kind of deal in the wintertime anyway. So we'll tinker around with stuff we can do outside for the time being. There's plenty of work still to be done on this old girl, so we'll keep at it. Thanks for watching, guys, and catch you on the next one.